The new racing season at Los Alamitos kicks off on Saturday night, December 28th. It's exciting nighttime action on Saturday and Sunday nights. And of course, the top quarter horses in the sport will be in action at the track of Sunsets and Stars. Our first Grade 1 stakes race of the new year is set for Sunday, January 5th, with the running of the Charger Bar Handicap for mares. Let's get the graded stakes action going. The new season at Los Alamitos. It starts on Saturday night, December 28th.
Hey, welcome everyone to the final show of 2024 here at Los Alamitos. But the first to preview our new meet that starts on Saturday night here at Los Alamitos. First, I'd like to welcome our panel here to discuss the opening weekend at Los Alamitos. Chris Wade, Michael Wrona, George Duarte. Of course, two outstanding racing programs on tap here. 8 races on Saturday, 8 races on Sunday. 6:05 p.m. is first post on Saturday, a little bit later than usual. But again, hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and a continued beautiful, wonderful holiday season. How are you, Chris? How is everything going with you?
Doing great. Had a very peaceful, much like Michael's, very peaceful Christmas. I just kicked back with the family, and it was great couple of days off. But
Michael,
big business.
Of course. Michael, how are you today? I'm surely enjoying all the sports actions, particularly opening day at Santa Anita, which was very, very interesting. Some really nice greatest stakes winners there. And, of course, we had a full packed house here at Los Alamitos enjoying all the simulcast action.
I didn't see any of that. I was watching 4 EPL games. Had a soccer marathon yesterday. And a pretty quiet Christmas. Kathy's been sick the last few days, so we pretty much did nothing, as a matter of fact. It's been a little bit of an empty week as far as that goes. But fortunately, I have no symptoms. I'm feeling 100%. I've kept my distance and been punching in all the immunity supplements. So fingers crossed, I'm in fine fettle.
Absolutely. And hopefully Manchester United did you proud during that Boxing Day program of soccer games. Okay, we'll move right along.
Just why don't you go and talk to George?
Yeah, George, how was your Christmas? Hopefully, unwrapped a few winning tickets.
It was good. I enjoyed it, spending time with my family and my girlfriend. And yesterday was good for me at Santa Anita. I played a little bit, not too much, but it was a successful venture, so I was happy. And look forward to this weekend's card. We got a lot of shippers from Northern California that makes these turn races a lot more difficult to handicap. So,
yeah, I believe there's 12 horses that came from Northern California making their first start here at Los Alamitos, or making their return start here at Los Alamitos on Saturday. 12 of them, and then 11 on Sunday. So quite a few new faces throughout the weekend here at Los Alamitos, and we'll take a look at some of them as we take a closer look at the Saturday program. We like to, though, before we do that, kind of highlight our season leaders for the recently concluded racing meet here at Los Al. Congratulations to the leading owner, jockey, and trainer. As far as the quarter horse breed is concerned, no surprises here as far as the leading owner. Dr. Ed Allred, the perennial leader of owners within the quarter horse standings. He won 55 races. Armando Cervantes picking up his first riding quarter horse title here at Los Alamitos, and he pretty much did it easily, won 53 races over the course of the meet. Second was Cruz Mendez, last year leading rider with 43 wins, and Monte Rosa as well picking up his first quarter horse training title, 68 wins. Heath Taylor was second with 47 victories. And Michael, it got really interesting in the other breed divisions over the past weekend. Battleborn Racing, Nick Hines there pictured. He was the leading owner in the mixed breed division. Sergio Morfin ended up leading the trainers. But the jockey standings got pretty interesting there between Ricardo Ramirez, Edgar Payeras, and Adrian Escobedo. They had quite a race going last weekend.
Yeah, there were several permutations. There were some things to keep track of in the standings with the jockeys around the turn last Sunday. And it was a 1-win margin for the title. And it could have gone either way for each of the people. But congratulations to Ramirez for winning one of the titles, Payeras the other. And, there could have easily been a flip-flop or a dead heat between them for one or both of those titles. It was right down to the wire.
Yeah, absolutely. In the thoroughbred standings, it came down to a 2.5 furlong race. The final thoroughbred race of the meet, and Payeras and Ramirez were tied, and they both had mounts in that final race, and Edgar Payeras ended up winning that race, taking that title as well. It was kind of cool to see Ricardo Ramirez when he knew he had clinched the title as he crossed the finish line. He gave it a little extra action there, knowing that he had just clinched the title. In the thoroughbred standings, Angela Aquino there was the leading owner and leading trainer. Quite a season for her, right, Chris?
Oh, incredible season. She does a great job, and horses always seem to move forward whenever they enter her barn. Does a great job year in, year out. And what can you say about Angela? Every single year she's brought up to be a trainer, and she's continued a legacy.
Yeah, so she finished the year with 26 victories as a trainer, 14 of them as also the owner here at Los Alamitos. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this influx of new horses from Northern California, seeing how, if some certain trainers kind of stick and just run consistently here at Los Alamitos, and what that happens with the standings in the thoroughbred races, as well as the mixed breed races as well. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and take a look at the Saturday card. A nice handicap. The Holiday Handicap is race number 8 on Saturday. We'll be right back.
The new racing season at Los Alamitos kicks off on Saturday night, December 28th. It's exciting nighttime action on Saturday and Sunday nights. And of course, the top quarter horses in the sport will be in action at the track of Sunsets and Stars. Our first Grade 1 stakes race of the new year is set for Sunday, January 5th, with the running of the Charger Bar Handicap for mares. Let's get the graded stakes action going. The new season at Los Alamitos. It starts on Saturday night, December 28th.
All right, and first post, like I mentioned, on Saturday is 6:05 p.m., and we get started with a 6-horse field. These are maidens going 1,000 yards. But I'll go ahead and I'll move farther along in the program because we want to talk about the feature event. That's the Holiday Handicap, $25,000 purse on the line, and a nice field of runners. A total of 7 2-year-olds making their final start as juveniles here on December the 28th, and some really good horses there. Train B Taka, 3-1 on the far outside post. Trainer Mark Jungers, who won the Los Alamitos 2 million futurity, looking to pick up another victory in the Holiday Handicap because he won it last year with Asher. Right, George?
Yeah, then that led her to win the Los Alamitos Oaks. So, and then she had a pretty good summer at Ruidoso, and so yeah, it's a race that a lot of these horses that maybe missed the 2 million final, that this is like their last chance to win a stakes race heading into their sophomore campaign. And this is where I have my pick for today's show in Train B Taka. You just finished talking about him. I really liked how he finished the race. If you show the replay, he doesn't really get going into the very last, I'd say 100 yards. And Edwin rode him pretty confidently. Like, he looked like the race wasn't down, and he just hand read him, knew what he had under him, and he finished really well. So I think he'll handle the added distance. And if you look through his running lines, he's been facing really good fields. He qualified for the West Texas Futurity against and lost a photo to Painted Eclipse, who came back to run 4th in the All-American, and then also qualified to the Texas Classic Futurity. So that was a really good field that also included 4 other winners in their next out. And then his race in Albuquerque, he defeated eventual second-place finisher, the Criminal, in the John Deere Juvenile. So he's been facing really good fields. Probably needed the race. He had a 4-month layoff, and I think Edwin was just they probably told him, just put him out there. As long as you're close, you probably will outfinish these. And then now is more pointed to this race. I think he's going to fire a bigger shot. And a lot of these are questionable going this distance, and I have no question this one can get 350 yards.
Well, I have that race 6 to last outing for Train Bitaka, December the 8th, and he's going to start from the rail. Post number 1, Edwin Escobedo is back aboard this runner. Thought, hey, you know what? He came out, won the Los Alamitos 2 million futurity with Lethal Cowboy 1, 2, 3. We'll see when we see him again. Boy, we see him again pretty quickly here at Los Al, Edwin Escobedo. So
and something about Edwin, he was actually not named on Lethal Cowboy. What happened was the writer missed a flight, and he just happened to be here and then he ended up getting that pick amount and ended up winning the 2 million. So that was just he got super lucky with that one.
Yeah, well, Mark Younger said, you know, we're very lucky that we have Noe Garcia, Christian Ramos, and Edwin Escobedo, all of them top-notch riders. So, you know, we don't miss much because they're all such excellent and do such a good job for us. So let's see Edwin Escobedo here. He actually rode Train Bitaka on this race, and we'll be seeing him aboard Train Bitaka on Saturday night as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll hit play, and you can walk us through this effort from this nice horse. Going from the post number 1.
Yeah, I remember in this race, I was betting against him, and he looked beat early. Like I thought, okay, I got him, and then you see him pick up his stride and then lengthen out and just run these horses down. Like I remember I had Freedom first in this race, so I thought I was home, and then you just see him respond late in the final 16th, just really finishing well, and he gallops out well. Like so, I have no doubt he wants this added distance, and that was his first start. He probably needed it. First start in 4 months. And Youngers has just been really, can't go wrong one with Youngers this year. And I think he's gonna finish off most likely a champion training season with winning the Holiday Handicap.
One thing about all his horses, they all seem to fire late. They all seem to have that extra power past that 300-yard distance. Nice run here for Train Bitaka. Let's go ahead and hear from our other handicappers, Chris Wade and, of course, Michael Wrona. And I'll start here with Michael, and we'll kind of go from the outside in talking about these horses. Number 6, Mas Prieta. When we did the draw show, Michael, on the horses that were in the Los Alamitos 2 million futurity, you couldn't help yourself ask Elena Andrade about Jessica Cruz. And what a nice job she has done, not only with that mare, but overall, she always seems to get the most out of her runners. Here's Mas Prieta. Your thoughts on this runner, Michael?
Yeah, certainly Elena's had a fantastic season, and Mas Prieta has her share of ability, having qualified to the Governor's Cup Futurity, where she finished midfield at big odds. She was not disgraced at all in that race. And got the maiden win in good time 2 starts back. And you could put a pen through that trial to the 2 million futurity. She was out of business at the start, but she does figure as at least a good exotics prospect in this race. I must say that I'm on board with George 100% in Train Bitaka being the top pick. I completely concur. Horse goes from the rail to the outside post, and strictly the one to beat in my opinion. But Mas Prieta is a very nice filly for sure.
Chris, just flaming at 8-1, Barry Woodhouse and Sergio Morfin. They formed a nice partnership throughout the years, winning a lot of races. Before it was John Cooper and Barry Woodhouse, and now we've seen this trainer and owner duo do some nice things with a horse by the name of Freddie. And now here's Just Flaming, another horse that has shown some ability from time to time and looking to kind of return to that nice ability that he showed in the past, right, Chris?
Yeah, this horse ex the same race as Train Bitaka does come out of, and was in post 3 behind the 4 horse who was on the lead and got beat around the wire by the aforementioned Train Bitaka. This horse got fractures in the gate, broke a little slow, was bumped back and crossed. I lost about a length and a half, but finished pretty well the final half of the affair under a tight hold and galloped out pretty well. So it's a long shot look to grab a nice slice of the underneath exotic pie on my charts. This horse could break a little bit better, and he's stretching out to the distance, and I think the added yardage will come in hand for this horse's final 75 or 100 yards, so it can really finish if he's a better getaway.
Number 4, Do the Job. And George, you mentioned a few shows ago, Fly Through the Fire gets a lot of winners here at Los Alamitos.
Yeah, and I mean, this horse in the summer looked like one of those ones that you had to look out for. He ran really well. He ran in that race he won on July 21st. That was actually faster than an older allowance race, and he did it pretty easily. He just came back off a sort of long layoff in the Golden State Million Trials, and actually did run decent. He had trouble at the start, and he did show some run late. And then last time you can just say maybe he just didn't like the rail, and now he gets off the rail. And this is one where this is the one, if I'm going to go too deep, this is probably the horse I would use because I think he's going to be a good price. He's going to be overlooked off those two trouble efforts. But he cuts back, and he ran well in his lone try at this distance in 350 against, my bud who qualified for the $2 million. So he has run good races, and he draws relatively well. He draws in the middle. He's done okay from this post, and that's one I would definitely use underneath. And if you're going to want to spread in the pick four, is one to use.
Yeah, and exiting really tough trial. All the top three finishers were in the mix trying to qualify to the Los Alamitos $2 million futurity. In fact, there was a dead heat for second between Apolitical Chilitas and Apprehensive, and they had to do a shake to determine that final 10th spot, and Apolitical Chilitas got it. Michael, number 3, Sassy Britches. Eddie Willis had a super season last year, and Sassy Britches added several wins to his win total last year. Actually got 3 victories here. Sassy Britches, do you see her from this spot, maybe giving Train Vitaka a little run there?
Yeah, she's one of only 2 3-time winners in the field. She's 3 for 7, has only missed the trifecta on 1 occasion. She's won at the 350 distance that came 2 starts back. So there are some things to like. 1 of 2 in the field trained by Eddie Willis. Justine Claver rides the rail horse. Oscar Peinado's been aboard Sassy Britches most of the time, and he will take the mount again. And she figures pretty logically as well. She's a very consistent filly.
Chris, Firestorm, 15-1. Look at those odds, but we've seen this filly deliver at even bigger odds before. Broker Maiden at 36-1, won an allowance race at 17-1, won the Claiming Futurity. How about that? She beat Show and Tell Cartel in that Claiming Futurity, and Show and Tell Cartel was the horse that Elena Andrade took to the Los Al 2 million, and Firestorm got the best of her on that night. Actually, broke 6th, moved up to 2nd, and was first clear by a half a length in that race. So Firestorm at 15-1, that just tells you the nice quality of this field when Firestorm is probably one of the longest shots on the board, right, Chris?
Yeah, Firestorm's a big-bodied runner. Always pops at a price. It's what I call a trouble-prone runner deluxe. This horse always seems to find trouble and always shows a big late run, and has won that big race at a huge price on the outside post. Only concern is drawn in the inside area. So we'll have to get a decent and clean start to be any kind of a factor. But has a look to get a piece of the pie with a typical late run with that 350-yard distance there this evening.
And the final horse in this field is number 1, Hot Temptation, 2-1 for Reliance Ranches. Justine Claver had another nice season here at Los Alamitos. She finished it up by winning the Ransom Handicap with Unrelentless. Unrelentless ran twice at Los Al last year, won 2 stakes races. Well, not last year, this last meet, and won 2 stakes races doing it. And Justine Claver got those winning stakes rides both times. So Hot Temptation, $190,000 they paid for this filly by 10-team dash. This is an open race, but a lot of fillies in this group. Train Vitaka, however, is a male. Let's see if he can outfinish these really nice fillies. Do the job. Another boy is just flaming. We'll take a quick break, and Chris Wade and Michael Wrona have selections for the Saturday night program. We'll be right back.
The traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a Pick 6 carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool. Every Sunday night, we'll have either a Pick 6 carryover or the 10,000 Pick 6 promo, leading to gigantic total pools like the $286,000 pool on May 19th and over $269,000 on June 8th. The traditional $2 Pick 6, a great bet, a great deal. always at Los Alamitos.
And we're back here talking opening night program at Los Al. Again, first post 6:05 p.m. The fifth race kicks off the late pick four here at Los Al, and we've had some really nice pools in the late pick four. Here's the fifth race, and Chris, you have a selection in this one, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give the look to the inside runner. Noon it is. This horse beat some quality horses, ran second recently to Freddie, who's come back out of this race to run a second, third, and fourth against some quality opposition. And this horse goes to Paul Jones, adds Lasix, and has come back with a very impressive morning prep for this return effort. The horse is ran against some quality opposition, won a stakes race up on the fair circuit, and had done well here at Los Alamitos prior, and has come back. Last effort was a pretty good second to Freddie, and was from the rail. The horse has been on the rail twice. It's been a good second and a victory from the inside post, and that nice workout kind of pushed this horse towards me. This horse had a big look at the outcome, and Paul almost 18% with first-time Lasix.
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll bring up that race that you were mentioning. September 1st, so a bit of a break here for Noon it is, and here it is. So I'll go ahead and I'll hit play, Chris, and you tell us where the horse is starting from and give us your thoughts.
Yeah, the horse is a good-looking race, breaking from the inside post, and does break relatively well. Broke okay, and kind of head cocked a little bit, broke inward, but showed a good amount of speed. Was right there early throughout. It's a nice sized individual, and showed a good turn of foot past the gap, and was finishing very strongly. And Freddie just caught the horse right there on top of the wire. But this good-looking runner did finish nicely with run left to give and galloped out pretty well. So I think coming back off that very impressive workout, you see that galloped out into and through the turn. This horse, as Lasix, goes to Paul Jones, and Paul does very, very well with first-time runners in the shed row. And that workout just kind of pushed me towards this horse. It was a very impressive morning prep. I gave it an A-. So I'll give this horse a look from the inside post, done well from, and 2-1 will be your probable and deserving favorite in that fifth event.
Can't believe you didn't pick Optical Illusion in that race, Chris.
Well, Optical Illusion. This horse is one of those given one more time horses, but I've given him one more time like 6 times. So that's my limit.
The razor blades will be produced by Chris if that horse knocks him off.
Oh my gosh! This horse.
You're putting yourself in a very precarious position here, my friend.
I know it, but there's so many. You give him so many chances, and you're thinking, well, give him one more chance to make those amends to those previous backers, and 6 times is pretty much the limit for me.
I definitely will be using the Optical Illusion since you didn't pick them.
Yes, had a good amount of trouble last time and finished pretty well, but I had a B+ workout prior, so.
I hate to say it, but Professor G picked them on top in that race. Optical Illusion.
Loving it.
Here we go.
Here we go. Michael, you want to add a little verbosity to this? What do you?
I think enough's been said.
I agree. Let's go ahead and move to Michael's selection here. Race number 7 is where we find Michael Wrona's pick. We'll look at the field really, really quickly. Naive has qualified to the Governor's Cup Futurity, ran 7th in that race won by the outstanding favorite Just Hawk. Terrific rock and roll coming off of a nice maiden win. Give me a reason, pretty lightly raced, but did win a maiden very impressively by length and a quarter. Tempting look at 7-2. Flying Gold Digger, and Listen Now rounds out this field. Where are you going with, Michael?
I'm with Listen Now from the outside post. This is an allowance for 2-year-olds who've not won 2 races. And Listen Now's career began with a bang. The debut score was by a significant margin in significantly fast time, 15.65, with a 9.73 closing split. There was a split of that maiden race, and the other division, the other split was 15.84 with a 9.91 final 220 yards. So Listen Now ran much faster time than the other split, and there was a 2-year-old fillies maiden on the same night, and they didn't break 16 seconds. or 10 seconds for the final split. So time-wise, this win was outstanding, apart from being visually impressive with the 1 3/4 length margin. Then was beaten at 1-2 by Naive, who's in this race on Saturday night, in a trail to the Governor's Cup Futurity, still qualified, and was 3-1 in the final, but nothing went right. The horse didn't want to load, bore outwards at the start, and really the horse, I think, has somehow lost his way across the second half of the season. Hasn't gone on with the job as the debut win would have suggested would be the case. But there certainly have been excuses. A troubled start, at start number 4, then broke through before the start of the race in September. Some of these problems are certainly of his own making. But last time out, all sorts of trouble at the start, as we'll show you in the replay. I just feel like he's got so much ability stemming from that debut performance that with the outside post in his favour Saturday night, I think he really gets a good chance to bounce back and register win number 2.
Well, here's this nice 8-horse field here, and listen now, it's going to break from post number 5. I'll go ahead and now hit play, Michael, and you can take over from there.
He bobbled from gate 5. He was a little slow to go. The horse in gate 6 comes in and bumps him heavily, and soon afterwards he gets a second bump. In fact, his hind quarters get turned in that second incident as the field approached the gap. So there were multiple things going on against him in the first few strides of the race. The head-on and the drone shows you a little more about the hind quarters being turned in the second bump. So even though he didn't really close off that impressively, I'm prepared to just overlook the race entirely. And again, I can't get, there's the bump from the 6 onto the 5, and then soon afterwards the hind quarters get bumped again. So I don't know how the horse cannot improve sharply from gate 6 on Saturday night. I come back to those comparable times, the relative times from the debut performance, and I want to be on him from the outside post at 5-2. There are other horses who've shown more good form recently. Terrific Rock and Roll, for example, number 2's a last start maiden winner, but did so in 15.66, and that was a few weeks ago, a month ago. Well, Listen Now ran 15.65 back in May, and so you've got to think that Listen Now, with a clear crack, with even luck, can run at least that fast now. Give Me a Reason, number 3. It was an excellent selection by George on this show when winning 2 starts back, but 15.72 in November. Again, Listen Now, 15.65 back in May, very early in the 2-year-old season. So I just think he's the horse for me on Saturday night.
Well, George, you selected on the Nightlines program, Listen Now on top, and Give Me a Reason second. What are your thoughts on Give Me a Reason? Can you get that reverse exacta instead of Listen Now continuing to win?
Well, for my pick 4s, I'll be definitely rooting for Give Me a Reason. I mean, he's the one with the highest upside in this race. He's still lightly raced. I liked, if you looked at his race before, they kind of popped the gates as soon as he got in. So he got off a little slow, but I think he ran his race going 400 the first time. It was, that's probably expected. If you look at everybody else who their first time at 400 is usually around the 2020, 2030. So then I think it's comparable to what horses at this level would run. For me, Listen Now, the main issue is he's been a head case. I liked him in the Governor's Cup Futurity, and then he showed, he was antsy in the trial, and then when he was going in to load in gate 10, he just did not want to go in, and he didn't fire. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe it just wasn't his day. And then since then he's found trouble after trouble. So it's either is his head still in the game or not? So this, to me, for him in this race is it's basically like a now or never for right now. Like, he gets the outside post. He's not going to be in the gate very long. He should avoid trouble. And, so he is the most proven talented horse in the field. It's just whether, he's up for it.
Yeah, I just wonder if this horse is eligible to the Los Alamitos Winter Derby, and if this is one of those races where they're going to maybe decide, if we move forward and test them at that, or do we have to wait until the El Primero, or what's next for this talented horse. So that's a good look here. I appreciate the selections from each and every one of you. It's going to be a good racing card. A lot of nice quarter horse races on tap. And, of course, we have several races around the turn. Like I mentioned before, quite a few new faces coming down from up north. Just very quickly, I'll take a look at one of the races in the Sunday program, and that's race number 2 on Sunday. Again, we have some new faces. Sunny Spot for trainer Gary Greiner. But there's Project Leader in this field. And Project Leader looking to complete a perfect season at Los Alamitos. He's won all 7 of his starts here and looking for win number 8 to make it a grade 8 for 2024 for Project Leader. I said a perfect season. I should have said a perfect year for this horse, looking to be 8-4-8 in 2024. New connections, though. Jesus Uranga, now the owner and trainer, must have been a private purchase here, acquiring this really nice horse. Look at the odds, 1-2 here. And remember, this horse did get scratched from the 1,000-yard winter final. So is this a horse that you guys might play against? Anyone?
It's interesting that apart from the trainer change, there's a jockey change as well. But Ricardo Ramirez is not riding at all on Sunday night. He maybe is suspended. I don't know his status, but you lose nothing going to Edgar Payeras, of course.
Yeah, and of course, if you mentioned the jockeys, also some new faces that we'll have here: Adrian Castellanos, Epifanio Garcia. Francisco Ramirez does right here quite a bit. Let's see how he continues in his progression at Los Alamitos. If he'll be riding a few more races for different trainers this year. Any thoughts on this race, George? This is a single for you.
In this pick 4, it had to be just because the other races are pretty wide open. It was hard for me to find a single somewhere else. So but I would suggest if you can find a single somewhere else, then it is worth going against him just because the value will be there. I mean, he's gonna play like a 2-5 shot in the pick 4s, and then you do have that question of a scratch, off a layoff, switches barns. Especially for like a low profile barn like James Crott, when you got these horses where basically it's the only horse in the barn, they get a different attention. They're used to their, everyday life. And then also you switch it, it's not necessarily, he might fire his best shot in the first, even though Uranga is really good and he gets, a good aggressive rider. He's pretty easy to ride. You just go out there to the lead and just try to improve your position basically. And the thing is hard is that doesn't look like he's gonna face much pace pressure in here. So it's gonna be, you're gonna have to hope he is probably most likely gonna be clear, and you're gonna have to hope he gets caught, something that hasn't happened in a long time. So that's what makes him so formidable.
Yeah, we see trying to see if there's any horses, especially those newcomers that have that ability, and I don't so much from Sunny Spot. Plus he's 20-1 here. Lessons of Autism. It looks like he's a fast starter, so he might be pushing the pace early on against Project Leader in this race. So that's just one race that I thought was pretty interesting to take a look at because of the return of such a big name here on Sunday night. So again, that's the Sunday program. 8 races on top. First post for that one is 5 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to each one of our panel. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day and looking forward to the opening program here at Los Alamitos. Chris, Michael, George, have a great rest of the day.
The new racing season at Los Alamitos kicks off on Saturday night, December 28th. It's exciting nighttime action on Saturday and Sunday nights. And of course, the top quarter horses in the sport will be in action at the track of Sunsets and Stars. Our first Grade 1 stakes race of the new year is set for Sunday, January 5th, with the running of the Charger Bar Handicap for mares. Let's get the graded stakes action going. The new season at Los Alamitos. It starts on Saturday night, December 28th.